Welcome to the Year of Animal Crossing. This is Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. This episode is brought to you by Samshine, an existing patron who has increased her pledge. Thank you, Samshine. Today, we enter the Year of Animal Crossing. This episode, we will discuss the biggest Animal Crossing moments of the year, give fun awards to Animal Crossing games, and we'll talk about our Animal Crossing resolutions and what we look forward to with Animal Crossing Switch on the way. So many things. Hi Sergio, how you doing?
Hello, Chewy. I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm doing well. I'm pretty excited. I can't believe we're already at 2019. It feels like no, it feels like ages ago that they announced Animal Crossing, but I want it.
Right.
Yeah,
And I
so
think it's because we haven't heard anything else since then. It's they're taking their time.
yeah, it's been literally the only thing that we've been wanting to hear about, but nothing has happened so far. It's
Right.
crazy to me. So yeah, I guess let's go over this past year because it's been a big one.
Hmm.
2018, I think both of us were expecting, I guess at the end of last year, I think we were expecting Animal Crossing to come out this past year. Of course, that's not what happened, but we did get the announcement. But
Right.
along the way, I guess let's talk about like things we were sad about with Animal Crossing this year.
Sure.
Was there anything that you had that you were kind of bummed about this year?
Well, I guess just the fact that even though we did get the announcement sometime during the year, it wasn't early enough for the game to come out this year, like you said. It would have been nice. I think it would have been possible, but maybe we'll find out eventually. We'll find out why they're taking longer than we want them to, but I'm sure it's gonna be for the best.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I hope we find out something about it because really felt like it was going to come out this year. I know there's no reason to think it, but it's been a very long time since Animal Crossing has come out. 2012 in Japan, 2013 here. So yeah, it's gonna reach like the 7-year anniversary in Japan this
Oof.
year. At least New Leaf is,
Yeah.
which is the last mainline game that we got, and that is pretty crazy to think about, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'd say my low for this year was probably around E3 when the game wasn't announced,
Right.
and I was like, man, I can't believe that this E3 is a bummer with a game like Smash Bros. And Pokemon on the way. I just feel like they should have announced Animal Crossing, and maybe that does point to the fact that, or point to the rumors that Animal Crossing is coming out earlier in the year than we think. I still don't believe those. I feel like it's going to be second half of 2019 still,
Yes.
but yeah, maybe they held off on it just because it wasn't quite going to make an earlier year launch, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, I think I feel like if we listened back to E3's episode, at least after this past E3, we were both disappointed and
Yes.
confused. And I think at that point, I remember just feeling like, man, I don't know when this game is going to come out. They're going to wait till like 2021 or something.
Right. Right. It was definitely disappointing.
Yeah, so that was a bummer. But of course, we had some big moments as well. Lots of big things happening in Animal Crossing, even without a game getting announced. Tons of stuff like the huge Pocket Camp update, and that's about it. But outside of like the main big thing that happened, but yeah, I guess what kind of positive things did you have in the Animal Crossing world?
Yeah, when I was still playing Pocket Camp, I really enjoyed it. The fact that it didn't get announced at E3, that kind of bummed me out so much that that's actually when I stopped playing. And I'm wondering if they had announced it at E3, maybe I would still be playing, pretty much every day. So that was a highlight. I enjoyed Pocket Camp the time that I played it. I felt like I had enough, but what I played, I loved. And a couple of other moments that stood out to me this year related to Animal Crossing. One of them was when we watched the movie with our friends from Discord and our listeners. We watched the Animal Crossing movie using Rabbit, and it was a lot of fun. That movie is always very touching, and it always reminds me that of why some villagers might leave your town without saying a word. It makes sense now, so that was a good moment.
Yeah, I loved that day. I still am down to have another movie night and watch it again. I know there were plenty of people who made it and plenty of people who couldn't, and I think that was too bad. I want to watch it again and have more people there who, just missed it that first time around,
Right.
And yeah, and then Pocket Camp, I felt the same way as you. Like, I feel a lot of my hype toward it kind of diminished as E3 got closer because I was like, all right, they're gonna announce Animal Crossing, and there's not gonna be a reason to play Pocket Camp anymore. So I kind of dropped off of it there. And also, I don't know, after a bit, it was stressing me out because it is like a mobile game where you kind of have
Yes.
to keep up with things to get everything. And now I'm pretty casual about it. Like I played recently, there was a fishing tournament, and I didn't get every item in it, and I was fine. And that's the hardest part to get to with, especially Animal Crossing, because I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like you just need to get every single thing in that game. But I've been enjoying it a lot. Like the update was fun. I have not made use of my cabin yet, but I did update my camp just I think this morning or yesterday morning.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm doing things on it, and I'm kind of excited about like redecorating my camper and my cabin. So hopefully I'll have those ready before the next Animal Crossing game comes out.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd say a big moment for me with this is just how much the community has grown around Haken. Like you and I, we're just fans of Animal Crossing. We're gonna be doing this show even if nobody's listening. And I mean, I'm sure for a while we did do it while nobody was
Right.
listening. um, but yeah, I think just to know that there are that many people coming to our Discord and playing Animal Crossing and being genuinely excited to have people to just talk to about the game, because you know both of us are kind of at an age where we meet older people who are just like at work and don't share those same types of interests, but
Mhm.
it's fun to have that space where people can go to be the place where they talk about Animal Crossing, you know?
Yeah, and I love it because it's very specific. It's not like one of those, like bigger groups that it's like Nintendo gaming or Sony gaming, and then you can talk about all your favorite franchises. But this is strictly Animal Crossing, and in a way, it makes it more special. It makes it more unique, and everyone knows why they're here and why we're here, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I think that's also fun to fill the void in just because, you know, when Animal Crossing games are not coming out, at least the in-between times that we've had
Mm.
since 2013, essentially, though, you could say 2000 up to 2015, people were still on Animal Crossing regularly. So,
Yes.
like, these past 3 years or so, I'd say would have been the quietest for the series and the fandom. And though we've had cool updates and new spin-offs come out, it just hasn't been the same, you know? So I feel like it's
Yeah.
been a quiet place, and I feel like everybody who's feeling that quietness and kind of sadness from that quietness have kind of found the Discord, and yeah, it's been really fun. I've really appreciated that, and I think everybody there has been making this whole experience really great for me because I feel like, you know, it's just fun to do things with other people,
Yeah.
and that's the main goal of Animal Crossing, I feel.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if you think about it, this is gonna be a hype gang like no other. Once we get a date, everyone is gonna be so hyped. It's gonna be intense. And it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm always really happy to see our chat excited about the game, and then usually Medi will pop up and bring down the expectations just to kill their hype from going too high, because
Right,
we've
right.
all been there. Like Medi's definitely hyped, but yeah, it's just funny to see that, and we're all like, oh, thank you for
Right.
keeping us grounded. I mean, we're not, but we're trying to
Right.
be, and we're pretending to be together, but that's just what happens.
Nice. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so anything else you want to mention here before we get to like the big thing that happened as far as highs go?
Yeah. You may recall that I also recorded the MP3s of KK music in New Leaf, and that was a fun little diversion, something new, like a new part of my audio hobby to try out. And the best part was that I found a new favorite KK song, which is KK Moody. I really like it.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that you always have these KK projects going
Yep.
on. I think that's super fun. Yeah, and like when you find something that's missing out there, I think it's good to fill that void. So I'm glad you took the time to do that and get
Yes.
yourself a full collection of those KK songs.
Yep.
Yeah, and also, I want to mention, like, you posted some of those, I guess, CDs and records that you bought, that
Yes.
are Animal Crossing music, and now I want them because the artwork is adorable, and I'm just like, oh, come on, how can I not have
Right,
this?
right.
It's great. Yeah, so I'm really jealous of those. So I might look for those and put them on my wish list for my birthday
Oh,
or
nice.
something. Yeah, I've always got to think of stuff to get, but. Anyways, so let's talk about the, of course, biggest moment of 2018, and that is when Isabelle was announced for Smash. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I mean, that was a big moment, but it was definitely Tom Nook coming in kind of sad. I felt like he was representative of what the fandom felt at that point, where it's like, I'm so happy for you, Isabelle, but this isn't what I wanted. um, and he just comes out and says he's been working really hard to make us a town that we can come home to. And it's just the perfect message. I think combining those two characters, this will probably come up a little bit later, but combining Isabelle and Tom Nook, I feel like those two are just like powerhouses in Animal Crossing. We have the very beginnings of Animal Crossing with Tom Nook, and Tom Nook, I would say he was like the mascot, in the
Yes.
beginning.
Yes. Mhm.
If it wasn't KK Slider or Mr. Rossetti, it would be Tom Nook, you
Yes.
know.
Mhm.
And, everybody just knew that name. And then now we have Isabelle, a brand newcomer from New Leaf, who has, she's just been so popular with people. She's a very positive force in the game.
Mhm.
And you have both of them back to back, and then you just see Tom Nook so happy for our new friend, and then saying, yeah, but, like, check this out. We've got Animal Crossing on the way. I'm working on it. I'm building. I've grown my company. He's doing what he's doing.
Right. Right.
And yeah, it was fun to experience that roller coaster of emotions and then all of a sudden see, yes, that relief I felt as I saw Animal Crossing 2019.
Yeah.
I don't think I felt that way in a long time.
Oh no, you're right. It's been a while, and especially because of the E3 low that we didn't get anything at all. So, yeah, that was September 13, 2018, and you may remember that it was supposed to happen a week before that, but unfortunately there was an earthquake in Japan and they delayed the Nintendo Direct. I think that delay just added more drama and more like another loop to the roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean, like, I thought about it later and I was like, I could have known Animal Crossing was coming out a week ago.
Right.
I can't believe that. And yeah, it's so funny to see it happen because thinking back to that point, I think you and I were on opposite ends of the spectrum where
Yes.
I went in to the first week thinking, oh, you know what? They're probably not going to announce Animal Crossing. And then the delay happened and I was like, oh my gosh, they have to be announcing Animal Crossing.
Right.
But then you were the opposite, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, at first I thought they were going to announce it, and then I thought they wouldn't after the 1 week delay. It just didn't feel right, but it did happen.
Yeah, and I think for me it was just coming down to understanding that Animal Crossing is a huge, huge game for Japan. And I was like, okay, well, if Japan is, they had a big tragedy happen,
Mhm.
and it's good to respect it. But I also felt like, there must be a game in here that Japan really cares about.
Mm.
So to me, I was just like, okay, I feel like it's time for Animal Crossing. You know what? I really wish I could have seen. I need to learn Japanese because I'd love to see like the reactions of the Japanese
Oh,
audience to seeing
right.
that, because they're crazy about it. They love the
Yes.
game, and that's why I love them.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a big year for Animal Crossing. I think once again we had kind of a gap year, but this was the best gap year
Yes.
that we've had
Right.
in a very long time.
And the last
So
one.
Yeah, this is it. Like,
Yeah.
we're officially. I know I've been saying this, but we are now less than a year away from this game. I don't believe that it's going to come out in like the last 3 weeks of December or so. So,
Hmm.
I don't know. Subtract that from 52. We've got like 49 different weeks that it could be. It probably won't be this week since we haven't heard about it.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think it's safe to assume that it's gonna come out anytime between February and the first week of December.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could always get delayed, but I really, really don't see that happening, considering the time of announcement and how many years they must have been working on it.
Yeah, I am still under the belief that we did not get this game on Wii U simply because the team was like, well, at least I felt like Nintendo saw the Wii U and was like, okay, this console has failed. We have to come out with things to keep them coming, but we're gonna have to move our big stuff for the next console, you know?
Yes.
So I just felt like the Wii U, the disaster that it was sales-wise for Nintendo, because, that's just what it was,
Hmm.
pushed a lot of games back. So I feel like they must have been working on Animal Crossing at that point, and to keep things going, I'm sure they like slowed development in places, focused on the games that, kept that system relatively alive
Yes.
between that and, the Switch eventually coming out. So I don't know. I feel like they've probably put a lot of work into this game. I'm super excited to see it because now I don't know, maybe we could see this game by like next episode for all we know.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be insane. I don't know if it'll happen that soon, but I do think it could be this month.
Yeah. Hmm.
I guess real quickly, I didn't really write this in our notes, but when do you think we're going to see Animal Crossing this month, February, March? When do you think we're going to see it?
Okay, right now I think March is a little more likely than January, but I expect directs on both of those months. So one in March, one in January.
Okay. I guess I'm feeling optimistic because I'm feeling January at this point. I think mid-January we're gonna see an Animal Crossing trailer, and it's just me wanting one, but March is fine. I don't know. It's just so far. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
and the sooner they show it, the sooner the game should be coming out. So I'm with you there.
yeah, and there's always the chance that they could announce just an Animal Crossing Direct.
True.
Because Animal Crossing is a big game like that kind of gets its own platform because of how big it is.
Right.
Not only that, but because it's like a very different game compared to other games. Like I feel
Hmm.
like other games you kind of see them and you understand how to tell that it's fun. I think Animal Crossing and because when you look at it from an outsider's perspective who hasn't played,
Hmm.
I think they're confused at first. They're like, "Why are you walking around? Like, is that all you do? You just walk around?" Um, because that was my mom's reaction when she saw me playing that game. She was
Oh.
like, "All you're doing is walking around. What is this game?" And so I feel like it's a harder game to understand where the fun is. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, it takes more time and more longer videos to showcase it.
Yeah, so I feel like, a dedicated direct is a good way to show you, like, here is Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Like, it is a different game, and this is how it works. So, and I expect there to be a lot of new players, people who have never played Animal Crossing. Like,
Oh,
there are
yes.
kids out there, the Nintendo Switch is their first console ever.
Mm.
Lucky kids. It's such a great console.
Right.
But they're getting this console and parents are looking for games that are great for kids and of course they're going to look at Animal Crossing.
Yes. Yeah. Hmm.
So I just feel like we're going to get a lot of new players and it's going to be important to inform them on how this game works.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
kids love that. Like when I was a kid, I was just like, man, I would love to have my own place and do my own thing.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's exactly what we got from the game. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting year. It is the year of Animal Crossing. I can't say it enough. All right, so let's get into this next part of the show, and we're gonna give Animal Crossing awards, and these are awards to, just different categories to different Animal Crossing games. So I probably should have included more, but yeah, there's some cool things going on. I actually might change one. We'll see how I feel when I get there. Um, but yeah, Sergio, you came up with some awards. Do you want to tell us what they are?
Yes, and so the first one is I chose a best direction, or basically the best overall formula of how the game was designed, how the gameplay is, and how it's Animal Crossing, in the full sense of the word. And do you want to go with your choice for this one?
Yeah, I do want to keep this one. So best direction, I'm gonna give that one to New Leaf. And I think there was just the reason I'm giving it to New Leaf is that there was just so much to do in the game.
Mm,
And I feel like it took everything that Animal Crossing was at that point and just made it more engaging than the previous games, made it more elaborate and accessible, you know?
yes,
Um, so, for example, like even having the touchscreen mechanics, adding um, the screenshot thing, and giving us new ways to decorate, new ways to dress our characters. There was just a lot of new things in the game, you know? That wasn't completely new, but it just like
right,
bounced off of what was already there, what was already laid out in the game, and just made it all great, you know?
right, right. Mhm.
So yeah, I give that one to New Leaf.
Nice. And New Leaf is basically my runner-up. And as much as New Leaf is my favorite game, I'm gonna have to give the best direction award to Population Growing. And the reason is because, it was the introduction of the series. It was the foundation, and even to this date, it has some of the best features, or like the most improved. Like it has 50, up to 15 villagers, which is crazy, and I wish New Leaf had that. And it also has the acre system, which I really like, and I kind of see wanted to come back in a way. Maybe you can choose which way you want to travel, or there's an area of the town that is specific to the acre system. I definitely want it back. And like I said, with such a good foundation, it's only natural to improve on it, with the subsequent releases. But I feel like Population Growing was an amazing foundation and introduction to the series. So I'm giving that one the best reaction.
I love all your answers for that. Especially things like having the 15 villagers and the acre system, because it was a very kind of different game. Like, surprisingly, it had the biggest map out of all the games
Yes.
for being the first game.
Right.
And then on top of that, just like the way you traveled around was always exciting. Those acres, it felt like every new step you took was something different and
Yeah.
new. You didn't
Yeah.
know what you were going to find ahead of you. So
Right.
I do like those answers a lot.
Nice.
So the next category is best connectivity,
Mm.
and this is the one that I'm actually going to change my answer for. Surprisingly enough, before my runner-up is New Leaf, and I think it was because of the best friend feature in that game.
Mm.
But I've got to say, I think I'm going to give this one to Pocket Camp now. And
Oh, okay.
And it's mostly because there are so many ways to interact with other people in the game.
Right.
And, it's not like you have to get together and make some sort of plan to play together, you know? It's just like you kind of always are whenever an event is going on. So,
Mhm.
though you hate the gardening events, or they're not your favorite, rather, I do really appreciate that that is something that happens continuously and that there is a lot of interaction with people with that. Like, our Discord is always really busy in Pocket Camp when we're doing the gardening events. And it's mostly because people are just trying to get a hold of their different creatures and they're trying to share them too, you know? So.
Mhm.
I think that as far as connectivity goes, I think that one brings people together very well, and it gets them just like chatting and playing together, and I think that's nice.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. I like your answer. So,
Yeah.
yeah, your runner-up, like you said, was Near Leaf, and I guess to me, it's also my runner-up for best connectivity because simply of how much time I spent playing online with others. But my actual pick for best connectivity is gonna go to City Folk, and the biggest reason is because of MeSpeak. The ability to use voice chat in the game. The first one to have it for Animal Crossing, first one and only one so far. So I really hope there's a way to use voice to communicate on Animal Crossing Switch. I know we can always use Discord or Skype, but I'm really hoping there's a way to communicate, or they definitely keep improving on it. So to me, City Folk, going from Wild World to City Folk was the biggest improvement in connectivity in my view. So I'm going with that one.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. Especially because to this day, like so many Nintendo games just don't have voice chat at all. I think more do, but it's kind of through the Nintendo app, you know?
Yes.
And I mean, it's okay. It's just not the way people are expecting it. So, I don't know. I feel like that's a good one to go off of, and I really wish I had that me speak accessory. I never
Right.
got it. All right, so the next category is best music and audio. Do you want to start with this one?
Sure, and I'm going with New Leaf for this one. So New Leaf had an amazing soundtrack. I feel like it's the most different out of all of them. It's kind of the most upbeat in a way. I feel like from population growing, Wild World and City Folk, they were more like on the mellow, more calmy side of music. Still really good, but New Leaf it's a little more upbeat and definitely my favorite. And also, I guess the biggest part is that I played so much New Leaf at all sorts of hours of any day, even 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So I was able to experience more of the hourly music and it just made it better.
Yeah, and did you ever play, I guess, during 3 a.m., 4 a.m.? Because
Oh,
I never
yes.
have.
Yep.
Yeah, I've never been able to stay up at those hours or get up at those hours. It's just not a good time for me. I don't believe they exist. Um, but anyways, for me, I'm gonna go with population growing on this one.
Mm,
I think there's a lot of uniqueness to the track list in this game. Like
mhm.
the hourly music is very different from kind of the more ambient tracks we get in the future
Yes.
titles, you know?
Mhm.
So it just felt like there's a lot of quirkiness to the music that made the world feel very unique. And because I feel like you can get lost in the music in the newer games, but this one, I feel like you're almost called to it. Like you're
Oh,
listening to the music,
right.
whereas it's not so much background noise. It's kind of like a part of you at some point, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
um,
And a lot of the songs that are still part of the series today, are from population growing, so they just kept going and improving.
yeah, they're always building off of that, especially like the KK Slider track list.
Mm.
We got so many new songs from KK on that first game.
Right.
Um, but I'm sure we'll see a lot more. But yeah, just that first population growing. And as far as audio goes, the footsteps are really great in population growing. Whether you're walking on the grass, on the dirt, or on the little like rock flooring,
Yes.
you just get a really great sound out of those footsteps. It's hard to beat.
Nice.
All right, so the next category is Villager of the Year, and this is always a really fun one. I'm excited to see who you picked.
So my pick is actually Filbert. He's the lazy
Oh, nice.
squirrel that we know and love. And it's easy for me to I just like lazy villagers in general. So Filbert had an advantage already, but the fact that he was kind of my best friend in Pocket Camp from the very beginning, he was the first villager that I leveled up to level 20, which was the maximum at that time. I believe it's been updated to 25 or maybe even more. So
25.
okay, good. And he was my first max level up, and he gives you his picture, his photograph. So yeah, I definitely connected with Philbert, and he reminds me of the better times in Pocket Camp for me. Beginning with the game and going through the many changes and the updates, and just having Animal Crossing back into our daily lives. It was awesome, and Philbert was a big part of that. So he's my villager of the year.
Yeah, and he's a great choice. He's been a good friend of mine since Wild World. Was he added in Wild World? I
I
believe
believe he
he
was.
was. Wild World had a really great selection of squirrels, I've got to say.
Nice.
Yeah, so my villager of the year, I'm gonna go with Goose. And I
Ooh.
think he just barely beats out Leonardo. But I think it was just because I saw Goose not only in New Leaf, but also in Pocket Camp. But
Oh,
Excuse me. Playing in Pocket Camp throughout the year was pretty fun. I had a good time with it. I know a lot of people had their complaints, but I had a great time. And I had Goose in my campsite for a while. So
nice.
I always had a good time just seeing him do whatever he was doing, like the amenities and everything. I thought he looked really cute all the time. And then also on top of that, like I was playing a Let's Play through New Leaf. I haven't been doing it lately just because I feel like I want to have a little break from Animal Crossing before this new one comes out,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
at least from mainline ones, so I'm trying not to touch them. But while I was playing through New Leaf, he just lived a little bit south of my own home, so every time I would walk across the bridge to go over to like Town Hall or the other side of the river,
Mhm.
I would run into him. And he was always just hanging out and doing some fun things, so yeah, I think he was a nice selection, a nice friend to me. And then he did make it into our first piece of Haken art.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, I had that commissioned. We had Goose, Alfonso, and Stella. Really great villagers. Of course, now you're seeing the winter art, which has some different characters. But
Mhm.
yeah, I felt like I I don't know. I felt like Leonardo, I wanted him to be my favorite, but I think in the end it ended up being Goose. I
Nice.
just like the chickens.
Nice.
So let's get into our last. Oh no, I think we've got a couple more categories. I may have forgotten to fill one in. But the next one is our special character of the year. And I guess I'll start with this one since I've got
Sure.
a bit of a long answer. This was a tough pick for me, and we mentioned both of these characters at the very beginning. We
Mhm.
had Tom Nook and Isabel pop up, so I think normally I would have said Tom Nook because I've been really pushing that Tom Nook as our savior train ever since he was the one to announce Animal Crossing, you know? But I think I'm gonna have to go with Isabel for this one. I think she's just gotten overwhelming amounts of support since she's gotten into Smash. I think everybody's been very endeared with her character because she's adorable. She's such a hard
Yes.
worker, and then she kicks everybody's butts. And there are all these glitches that she has in Smash, and I feel like they keep trying to patch them out and fix them, but they only make them
Yeah.
stronger every time. And so yeah, I feel like she's never going to be quite fixed and she's always going to be a little bit broken and stronger than everybody. But that's fair because she's Isabel. Um, but yeah, I think it's really cool to see her gain so much popularity just because she is like a new character to the series.
Mhm.
I mean, it's almost 7 years old, but she is still like old school Animal Crossing players who's missed out on New Leaf. They don't know Isabel at all. Like they
Right.
don't know the huge impact that she's had. And then you also have all of these new kids who are playing Smash for the first time and playing as Isabel and going like, "Oh, she's so cute. She's so great. I want to play the game she's from." You
Oh,
know?
right.
So I feel like she's going to draw in a lot of new players to Animal Crossing and I guess that's something I appreciate because I just like people who like Animal Crossing better than people who don't. So it's not personal, everybody, but that's just the way my brain works.
Right, right. It adds a little special connection whenever you meet anyone that likes Animal Crossing. Makes sense.
Y-
Yeah.
yeah, it's just something that you understand. You both get it, and there's a
Right.
connection there for sure. So yeah, I just appreciate the presence that she has right now, and even like Pocket Camp, she's helping us throughout like all of our big tasks that we're working on, you know? So
Yes.
I don't know. I feel I would have gotten Tom Nook, but I think Isabel's going to bring a lot of people to this game.
Yeah. That's a very good point. The fact that a lot of people are playing as her in Smash and they're gonna want or they're wondering where she's from and that's gonna introduce them to the Animal Crossing series and that's a really good point. And so like you said, there's two special characters that have really stood out this year. And if it's not Isabel, my choice is gonna be indeed Tom Nook. Because, while Isabel and even Villager are just having fun playing Smash, and even other special characters like my favorite KK Slider, he's not really doing much, at least not that we know of. But Tom Nook took the time to tell us the announcement. He's been behind the scenes working on making sure that we get the next Animal Crossing game as soon as possible and that it's the best experience possible. So I just had to give him the nod. I understand and I value Isabel's popularity and involvement and her the fact that she's gonna grow the franchise. But I think that Tom Nook, the fact that he saved us, he's our savior in terms of the series. That to me, he's the special character of the year.
Yeah, and I can't deny that at all because I really appreciate the work that Tom Nook is putting into this game. And like crossed over into real estate, and the game just hasn't been the same since.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
he's giving us a lot more things that we can do to really customize our lives, and knowing that he's like building our new towns right now at this very moment, it's hard not to appreciate that.
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, it's exciting. And finally, we have our last little award that we're going to give out, and that is for Species of the Year. And at first, I didn't have this filled out, but I did just fill it out because usually, I think for a long time, I gave this species a lot of hate. I think a lot of people still do.
Mm,
Um, but I think this year, I really started to appreciate them more, and I'm giving it to gorillas for me.
mm.
Um, they're not a very popular species, I think mostly because people don't think they're as cute as
Right.
other
Right.
villagers, but there's some really fun gorilla characters. Like when we got Pee-wee in Pocket Camp, I
Yes.
was all about Pee-wee. I was like, I don't know why I didn't like you before. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just really into gorillas, and maybe it's because I watched Over the Garden Wall a lot, and I keep thinking of the line, and with the wild gorilla on the loose. So, I don't know. I think gorillas, they get a lot of unnecessary hate, but in general, I've just been more into those like exotic animals that are kind
Oh,
of far away. Like I don't
yeah.
get to see them too often. So, yeah, I think they're fun. I think they're great.
Nice. That's a good point. So for me, even though I like Filbert and I also really like Marshall and Hazel is my all-time favorite villager, and those are
Mhm.
all squirrels. But this year, at least, my favorite species is actually cubs, like bear cubs. And the biggest reason is because in Pocket Camp, later on when I started to bring in the villagers that I really like into my campsite, I had a quad of lady cubs, and they were so awesome. So I had Blue Bear, Maple, June, and Cherry, and they were always there. So it was a lot of fun talking to all of them like back to back to back to back, and just I have my four cub ladies there. It was awesome.
Yeah, and the bear cubs are always really great, especially because I think back to my first Animal Crossing game, and Poncho was my best
Yes.
friend in that. And he's a little bear cub. He's on this artwork for the show now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always really cute characters. I think in New Leaf I loved Chester. He was like a little panda bear cub.
Yes, that's right.
So cute.
Yep.
All right, so we have finished giving out our awards. Please, in the comments, let us know what you would award any of these things, whether it's best direction, connectivity, the music, villager of the year, special character of the year, and the species of your year. Yeah, be sure to let us know because we want to know. We love knowing.
Nice.
So let's get into our next topic, and it's a big one. We're talking Animal Crossing resolutions because we can't have a new year without resolutions. I feel like it's
Right.
just tradition. Whether you like to or not, it's always fun to see so many people in a mindset where they want to improve something.
Yes.
And though, you could always stop and improve something no matter what time of year it is, I think it's extra fun when I think it's on everybody's mind.
Yes.
So let's get into this by talking about last year's
Mhm.
resolutions. Because a year ago now, we did do the same thing where we talked about our New Year's resolutions. So you want to go over what yours were, Sergio?
Yes. And so the first one, the biggest one last year for me, was learning to play acoustic guitar. And I did try. I started the new year, so in January, and I guess up to February or so. So I tried for about 2 months, and it was fun. I was as consistent as I could be during those 2 months, but I realize now that I wasn't ready or I wasn't committed enough to dedicate the time that is really needed. I thought I gave it enough time, and I realized that I wasn't even close. You know, you need to a lot more dedication and consistency. So I'm not ready for that yet. I haven't really put out the guitar away, but I probably should.
Well, I think that's a good one. Like I said, in that last episode, I got my guitar when I was in like seventh grade or so, and I honestly didn't start playing more consistently until sophomore year of high school, so it was a good four
Oh.
years, 3 to 4 years before I finally picked it up completely. um, so yeah, I guess my first one, is also music related. I'll start with this one
Hmm.
that relates to yours, but it was to record original Animal Crossing music and covers of Animal Crossing music. So I
Yes.
really wanted to, I guess, get my own music on this podcast, and in some ways I've accomplished it, where I did record 3 songs that you hear pretty regularly on this show. I
Mhm.
want to have new ones come this new year. Um, but the thing I never got around to was writing my own like Animal Crossing songs. And I think part of it is me studying kind of how Animal Crossing music is made.
Mhm.
Like everything's got kind of a technique and style to it, and there's a lot to study in terms of Animal Crossing because there are so many different genres being used in the game. Um, but yeah, I wanted to study kind of the hourly music and capture that in the songs that I write. So I never got around to that, but I have done some of it. Like I did record 3 songs, and I've actually bought an acoustic guitar and a bass to kind of help me make that happen in the
Nice.
future.
Mhm.
So it's on the way. And
Nice.
hopefully, we're going to talk about resolutions, and this will be one of them. But so maybe I'll say it then. So what
Nice.
was your other resolution?
The other one was to get more involved in doing Animal Crossing related digital art. And I did do a couple of things on that aspect. My favorites for sure were you know when there's a Splatfest for the game Splatoon 2 for the Switch, I like to do like a little KK slider avatar change related to the theme of the Splatfest. So I did a lot of those. I think my favorite is having KK with the hairstyle of Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. It's like a crazy blonde hairdo to KK, and he looks amazing. And also a KK that looks like a Ninja Turtle.
Oh yeah,
So
that's fun.
I did a bunch of those, and I also did, the KK Slider calendar, and I commissioned a series of illustrations or like line art avatars from somebody from Twitter named Nafelki, and
Mm.
I wanna paint them because they're just line drawings, so I still have to go back to that.
Yeah, that's just pretty awesome. I'm glad you got a lot on that one. Because I feel like mine have been a bit failures. um, so my other one was playing through Desert Island Escape, and specifically the Amiibo Festival version.
Yes.
So I was doing a playthrough of that where I took actually like patron villagers. So they would pick 3 of them that I would use, and I would make my attempt to, just escape that desert island.
Right.
And it went well for a little while, but I think over time I just forgot about it. Like I don't know what happened. I just completely forgot that I was working on that at
Hmm.
all. So I stopped, and I think eventually I'd like to get back to this because I haven't beaten every level.
Right. Yeah.
So I'd
They're
like
tough.
to. Yeah, they are pretty hard, and so I'd like to get back to it. And now that I've been borrowing your 3DS, would also like to go through the 3DS versions of the levels because there's an item that you get at the end.
Right.
So I would like to get that item, and so yeah, it would be fun, and it'd give patrons another little video that it involves them in some way.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to get back to that, but I don't. It's not quite in my resolutions yet, so maybe we'll see if it happens.
I hope it does. They were a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, they
Hopefully,
are
but
pretty
don't
fun.
don't
I
don't
do
feel the
like playing
pressure.
that.
Nice.
What was it you said?
No, like hopefully they do come back, but you don't feel pressure. There could be other priorities, but if you do, I'll really enjoy it because those were a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, thanks. All right, so let's talk about this year's resolutions. Because, like I said, we've just got to make some new ones because it's fun.
Yes.
And it's the year of Animal Crossing. I feel like that requires us to have some Animal Crossing resolutions.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll start, and this goes back to that first one that I half did, half failed, and I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna bring back those goals with the music. While I didn't record what I wanted, I have invested in stuff to record, So I've got the acoustic guitar, I've got the bass guitar, and yeah, I just want to learn some songs and get some better recordings because I wasn't always very happy with the ones that I'd completed. I thought they got the job done, but I was always thinking like, oh, I could make it better. So, yeah, that's the world of an artist. You always
Yes.
can
True.
see the flaws and where you can make it better.
Right.
Yeah, so what's one of your resolutions?
One of mine is to redo my room or at least clean it up and organize everything. There's a lot of stuff here that I really don't use and I could put away and I probably wouldn't even remember that I have so many things, but I want to do that. But on the side, I would also want to add with the room that gets cleared up, I want to put more Animal Crossing art in little plushies and figures around the room. So I want to keep everything nice and neat, but also full of Animal Crossing stuff.
So just to be clear, this is like your actual room where you live, right?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think it's fun to have a space that is exactly how you want it.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's a really fun one. Um, my next one is I want to really come up with a really good content calendar. I guess for anybody who's been noticing, I've been on a bit of a break from making content just over the holidays. Um, but have been getting excited for what's to come. And so right now, what it's looking like, I'll have 5 pieces of content throughout the week. Um, they will be on Sundays, the weekly update, which I'm sad it's not weekly at this point because I've missed a couple weeks now. This is Sunday when we're recording. um, Tuesday will be the podcast, like usual. Wednesday, I am adding a Stardew Valley Let's Play that I'm doing with my friend Edwin. Um, we did a live stream to start it off the other day, but we're gonna continue doing that. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Nice.
I have some fun topics and ideas to go off of for
Mm.
that one, so it should be an interesting video. And then Friday is, I'm going to continue those Friday series videos. They take a little bit more work. I really want to work on them and make them even better than they have been.
Mhm.
And then Saturday will be a regular stream, and I haven't, I guess, decided what game to stick to or play. I might just stick to Pokemon for a little while.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think in between there, like Monday and Thursday, I don't really have anything right now, but I have been writing down ideas for videos whenever I do have the time to get to
Mm.
them.
Right. Right.
So right now I have like a lot of beginning of 2019 videos planned, like, games I'm looking forward to in 2019, indie games I'm looking forward to, even like a look back at the previous year, 2018. I do want to compare the 2017 to 2018, I guess, news cycle for Nintendo. So, yeah,
Yes.
I have some ideas that I want to do, and I feel like all of this will change as soon as Animal Crossing Switch comes out because at that point, that's all I'm gonna want to play. um, so I am thinking I'm gonna do a daily Animal Crossing Switch Let's Play for at least the first month of the game.
Right.
Um, so yeah, some of them will be streamed, some of them will be recorded, and yeah, I essentially just want to play the game and experience it with everybody the first
Right.
time.
Right. Mhm.
And then outside of that, I kind of forgot, but I am playing in my Splatoon team more regularly, and I just got the last little piece that I needed to complete my stream setup for Splatoon, so
Oh,
that'll probably happen on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think probably
oh,
on Twitch I will do those, just so I give my Twitch a little bit more action.
oh, nice.
But yeah, as far as content goes, like I'm getting pretty excited to make some things. I didn't hit my goal of 1,000 by the end of this year, which is fine, but I'm not too far off still.
Yes, right.
And I've just made a new goal. I want to hit 2,500 subscribers by the end of this year, so
Oh,
it's more than double of
yeah,
what I have right now. So yeah, it should be difficult, but I've got big ideas to get there, you know?
nice, exciting.
Yeah. So, you want to go over another one of yours?
Yes, and I guess the next one is kind of the big one. It's making preparations for Animal Crossing Switch, not only, because we're going to be playing the game a lot, of course, but also I want to also make videos or streams. We're going to talk a little more in detail about that later, but yeah, it's going to be something that I need to prepare for. And also part of that preparation is getting some bigger or big time consuming games out of the way. I still want to go back and finally properly play through Zelda Breath of the Wild. So that's gonna take some time, and the sooner I start that, the better. Because when Animal Crossing Switch comes out, everything stops. Any new releases for at least 3 or 4 months are gonna have to be put on hold. So I want to get a couple of big games out of the way first, and that's gonna take some time, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and that's a tough one to get to. But of course, Breath of the Wild is so fun. I think you'll have a good time getting through that game.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm really excited for you. That makes me excited to also start preparing for Animal Crossing Switch because
Yes.
it's gonna be a big one. I think it would be really fun if, for a while, we may switch the videos in a format where maybe the podcast I might just have Animal Crossing Switch playing in the background on YouTube, you know?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So people could get like an hour of gameplay while they listen to the podcast.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting. We'll see what we do with that, but for now, we're we've got so much time to plan and it's very
Yes.
exciting.
Yes, that's good.
Um,
That's good.
Yeah. So I guess my last thing is something I feel like I've always been kind of falling short on as far as like content creation goes, but that's kind of more of the administrative work with running a channel, you
Mm.
know?
Mhm.
For example, I want to post every episode of the podcast up on my website, chewyplays.com. I have a website for anybody who doesn't know. But it's fallen behind, and it's fallen behind big time.
Mm.
Like I I haven't checked in a while, but I feel like the last episode I posted was like 20 something or so.
Ooh.
And even then when I posted them, I think it was only consistent to like episode 18, so I have so many episodes to post at this point. I guess 40 at this point.
Right.
Because this is episode 58. So yeah, maybe I think my plan will be to try to post one each day, you know?
Mhm.
And so after 40 days, a little over a month, hopefully I'll be done with that. But of course, that'll add 5 more episodes or so.
Right.
um, so yeah, I want to do better about the administrative stuff. The other thing I wanted to improve that's in that realm is like my use of social media. I think I'm good at Twitter. I love posting on Twitter, and
Yes.
I love Twitter. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
Which is funny to say because I think a lot of people see Twitter as the more depressing one, but I've essentially turned my Twitter into like nothing but Animal Crossing and Nintendo things, so it's a good time for me. But I do want to post more on everything like my Instagram and Facebook and even Patreon. That's not exactly social media, but I do want to keep people better updated on Patreon. For example, patrons and everybody who goes on there, I want to do like a monthly recap of where the money goes
Mhm.
for the show and everything. Because right now, I'd say it's gone towards some instruments to work on the music. So it's been going toward music. It's gone toward these commissioned pieces of art, you know.
Right.
And so yeah, I just want people to know that the money that they're putting into the stuff that we make, we're putting it right back into this show and hopefully growing it to a point where, I don't know where it could go. So,
Right.
yeah, we'll see as it happens, but we have goals that we want to get to. Eventually, it will be making like merchandise and stuff for people to buy and enjoy. So,
Nice.
yeah, there are a lot of big things going on, and I just want to be better about, keeping everybody updated on that end of the spectrum. And even there's some things on the Discord that I haven't implemented yet. I need to revamp it a little bit
Mhm.
since we've had some new people in and out, so I want to make sure everyone's aware of like the rules that we've got. Yeah, just administrative duties that I haven't been getting to.
Right. Mhm.
Um, so yeah, and luckily, we're a relatively small show, small community, so it's not too much that it's overwhelming, you
Right.
know.
Right. Mhm.
So yeah, and you're always a great help, Sergio. So I really appreciate that.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, did you have anything else to say as far as New Year's resolutions?
No, that's about it. Other than, when we discuss in more detail how we're gonna be preparing for all the Animal Crossing content that we're gonna be bringing to you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're really gonna have a huge, huge stockpile of things to post, and it's gonna be great.
Yep.
And I think it'll feel like we just want to do that?
Yeah, we've been ready for years.
Yeah, so it's pretty great. So let's go ahead and get into our final topic for the day, and that is what it means to be in the year of Animal Crossing. And so I kind of forgot to fill this in because I had a lot of things in my head and I couldn't really, I guess, organize them in a way. But I will say, one of the big things that I feel it means to be in this year of Animal Crossing is, to me, just like being able to share this game with more people.
Mhm.
Because right now, I'd say our audience is pretty. We're diehard fans of Animal Crossing. People who listen to this show, I'm sure, are pretty in love with this game and series.
Yes.
And I'd say because of my size, you kind of have to do some looking to find my channel,
Mhm.
and our podcast. And so because of that, I feel like the audience that we do have, like, they're actively trying to fill their void of Animal Crossing right now.
Right.
Um, but I guess I'm just excited to feel more excitement from people because I'm always kind of like, yeah, but you guys, Animal Crossing is next year. Like, you should be excited for this. Like, it's a huge game. And I think until people get their hands on it, I don't know if it's going to feel the same to them?
Yeah. Mhm.
So that's a big thing for me. I'm really excited to share the love for this series with everyone.
Right. That's a good point because, we're going to be playing the game a lot and we're going to be playing it with our listeners and our friends from Discord that we know that are super excited as we are. So we're going to be playing with them, but we're going to be showcasing the game to new people that are, they're going to be curious. They're going to be, well, what is this new Animal Crossing game that I keep hearing about? Let me watch some Let's Plays. Let me watch some live streams. And that's when we come in and that's when we get new friends and new people playing Animal Crossing. That's a really good point.
Yeah. So what do you have on your list?
So as far as that goes, like I said, it's preparing for that. And like I said, part of it is clearing my gaming backlog, and that's exciting on its own. But there's also a couple of things that I want to do. I've done a couple of live streams before, mostly just tests, but I want to have everything set up so that I need to like turn on one or two things and it's good to go. Like I want it to be as seamless as possible, and to stay on and to stay easy without having to go through updates every time or things like that. And the reason for that is because I want to basically, if possible, I want to record all my gameplay of the game,
Mhm.
everything. And out of all that recording, so for that, I need to get a really big external hard drive. I'm also want to get it's an HDMI switch so that it goes to the TV and then to the streaming box, just so that there's as little lag as possible. And with all of that video content, I'm thinking I'm just gonna be doing not necessarily let's plays, but like the highlights of each day or the bigger events, and just doing video editing and showcasing those when they're ready. And also, part of that is also participating on like little goals or little events that are suggested by my viewers or our viewers. So if they want me to work on a certain something, I think those are better for like a live stream type of thing. But other than that, yeah, I want to record every minute of gameplay. So that's gonna take a little preparation, but I think it's gonna be fun and it's gonna be worth it in the end.
I have a question about this because I love this idea because I've always loved your I guess your knack for kind of keeping track or keeping a record of your experience with Animal Crossing, like you did it with your photos that you took in New Leaf, you know?
Yes. Hmm.
I love that album that you have of all of your New Leaf photos, and uh, it's just amazing. So this project seems amazing as well because having every single minute of your game saved in some way. I never even thought of that. But here's where my question lies. How are you going to pull off playing in handheld mode?
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm already kind of envisioning that that's gonna be a little bit limited, but I guess that's okay. For the greater good, it might be worth not playing that much in handheld, but or maybe that would be a good thing for a second town,
Oh yeah, that's true. You could have a
huh?
second town. And you know what? I may have to send you this, but I'm pretty sure I saw a video. What is that, I guess, website that always does like frame rate tests and stuff?
Hmm.
Um, they do this stuff regularly. They're always checking like the actual, I guess, physical capabilities of each game, you know?
Right.
And how it runs or how well it runs and that sort of thing. I can't think of the name right now,
I
but
know it too. Yeah.
it's at the tip of my tongue. Somebody will tell us, but regardless, they. I think they had one video where they showed
Oh.
off a capture card that was installed directly onto their Switch.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
heard of that. I think it's Digital Foundry. Is that
yes,
the one?
they're the
Yeah.
ones. Digital Foundry, they have that. So if you do, because I know if anybody's the one to make that type of investment, I feel like it's you, Sergio. But there are options there to get like direct feed from your Switch in handheld mode,
Yes.
um, which could help you with that quest of eventually, I guess, having a recording of every single minute of gameplay that you have.
Yes.
Ah, that's amazing. Cause I feel like I always think of this thing like when we die, do we like go into some room with a cassette player and you're just watching your whole life back in video cassette mode? I think that's just a funny idea. But it would kind of exist for you in Animal Crossing if you were
Right.
to do that,
Right.
which is cool. And also, if you don't want that big a hard drive, you could always just upload them to YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Google will hopefully be around for as long as we live.
Right.
So you could always look back there, you know?
Right. Right.
I think that's amazing. I think that's I'm getting so excited about Animal Crossing this year. And I'd say another thing that this game means for this year is just that we're coming off of the longest wait between mainline titles that we have ever gotten, you know?
Yes. Hmm.
And I think it's at a point where, the 3DS was huge, but it came out so long ago, and it was a system that was out ages ago. And I think a lot of people have gradually left it over the years. A lot of people skipped over the Wii U, and a lot of people are coming back to Nintendo with the Switch, you know?
Hmm.
And so I feel like Animal Crossing is something that just hasn't been on people's minds for a long time. And I think this calls back to the first point I was making. But just being able to close that gap finally,
Right.
like bookend those years without a new Animal Crossing game. Sure, we've had spin-offs and stuff, but I think those were not on many people's radars, you know?
Right. Right.
And so, yeah, I'm just excited that this means that we're finally getting an HD Animal Crossing game. Like, this
Hmm.
is going to be a brand new experience, and it's going to bring people to the game that, just haven't thought of it or haven't heard of it forever. So, an HD experience of this is going to blow minds. I have a
Yes.
feeling that's going to be the greatest thing ever.
Right.
Because we wanted it, and ever since they announced the Wii U, like this is completing our wait for the Wii U. I know there are people who bought
Hmm.
2 Wii U's just in case to play Animal Crossing. That might have been Sergio. And there are people who sold their 3DSs because they felt Animal Crossing was coming to the Wii U. So
Right.
they sold their 3DSs and bought a Wii U, and now all of those regrets can be gone.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm really excited for you too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that huge gap, 7 years also goes to the development team. There's gonna be a lot of changes, a lot of new people working on it, and with new people come new ideas, and with new ideas, new fresh ideas, come things like we saw in New Leaf that are new to the series and that are very exciting and very fun and take a lot of time to showcase and to play through and to experience. So there should be a lot of Animal Crossing content this year. This is the year. It's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be really great. I'm still thinking over like what that first day will be like when I finally do it because I do want to live stream it so people experience it with me. I think it may be a different live stream where I I don't know. I feel like when you live stream, you kind of come in as some sort of character,
Mhm, mhm.
a version of yourself that is, meant to be a little bit more lively and interactive with people.
Right. Mhm.
But I may go into it live streaming and just kind of ignoring all that. Like, I want you all to experience me just experiencing it, like
Yes.
how I would. And so I want to come in as like honest as possible when I first turn on this game.
Yes. Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I will definitely like avoid the chat. I'll probably give a warning as I'm starting the
Yeah,
game
that
up.
makes sense, right?
Yeah, I'll just be like, hey everybody, I'm going to be playing Animal Crossing for the first time ever, and I'm not going to look at chat. I'm going to experience this.
Right.
So, I think that's the way I'm going to do it. I hope people are okay with that. I know when you stream, I'm sure people like when the streamer interacts with them. So, but this will be a different one because it's a different game.
Yeah.
It's a game that I really want to be able to take in as it happens.
Yes, yes. It's so special to us that we need to put like a certain boundary, like you said. That's why I wasn't sure at first if I wanted to always be live streaming or recording. That's why I think it's better if I record and I'm able to play the game at my own pace, in my own style, even in my own sense of humor, as silly or cheesy as it might be sometimes. And then I can go ahead and edit, the videos into smaller little videos with like the best parts of the gameplay. So it's not always, because sometimes we play Animal Crossing and we kind of take our time and it might be a little like slow for a stream, but also that can be a separate aspect of it. Something like for the weekends, I think it's better to live stream and to have a specific goal in mind, like you said, like something for the viewers to interact. So it's a different aspect of playing Animal Crossing. Not yeah. So it's cool that we're getting a new game and it brings in all of these different social aspects with it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I I just can't wait. And this is it. This is the year of Animal Crossing. We barely have to wait anymore. So it's around the corner and it's great. Did you have anything else to say about being in the year of Animal Crossing?
No, I think that's it. It's finally here, and any day we could wake up to great news, and we're no longer have to say let's wait until next year because this is the year.
Yeah, and yeah, that's it. Like all of I guess 2017 and 2018 for I guess the majority of those years I was just like, all right, this is it. This is when we hear about Animal Crossing and then direct after direct not hearing about Animal Crossing was tough, but
Yes.
it's nice that that's come to a close and now we're just waiting to see it. Like that's all we got to wait for
Right. Right.
and that's better than the silence that we've had for so long
Yeah.
where we didn't really know if it existed at all?
Right. Yeah.
So, to finish off this show, we're going to get into our Haken's Villager Corner. For those who are new here, we have our Haken villagers who are supporters on Patreon. We ask them a question every week to get their answers, and it's a bit of a smaller corner this year. I think it was a tough question, and it's essentially the one we spent this whole episode answering, but it was, do you have any Animal Crossing resolutions? If so, what? And yeah, so we only have 4 questions. I guess we'll go back and forth, and I'll start for you, Sergio.
Okay.
Cheryl Jones, or Jeslyn, as you may know her on Discord, says, I don't have any resolutions. I'm not a resolutions kind of person. I just want to enjoy the game when it's out on Switch. I dare say I will be obsessively playing it for a while after it comes out. And yes, I can relate to that
Yes.
100%. I've already been planning my work schedule around Animal Crossing. Usually I go in 9 to 5. I kind of do a short lunch so I don't have to be there an extra like half
Mm,
hour or so.
right.
But I will start coming in like 8:30 to 5. So I have like a half hour at lunch to check the shops and do some things, you
Oh,
know.
nice.
Um, yeah, I want my lunch breaks to have Animal Crossing in them. So
Nice.
I've yeah, I'm already planning my life around it, so you're good. I think you playing obsessively is a good enough resolution for
Yes,
me.
exactly. Next, we have Sarah, and the answer is something I would love to do, but it's a bit unrealistic, is to collect all of the Animal Crossing amiibo cards. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to use them in the new game, so I've been holding on to mine. I have all of my Dreamies cards, so it would be great if we could use them. Another resolution of mine for when the game comes out is to play it without any time traveling or anything like that. I'm someone that loves to skip ahead in games, and basically I have no self control. So I'd like to try playing in real time with this one.
Yeah, and it's like a new experience playing the game in real time. I'd say one of the biggest things I appreciate about the game is that you go day after day doing small things here and there, and then you just feel so accomplished when you've played like for 2 months or so, and you're like, man, my place is awesome, you know?
Right.
So I hope you try it because it is a great way to play. But I also understand why people want to time travel when they first get it. They're just like excited to have more to do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Sarah, I think it's fun and exciting that you at least are willing to try without time traveling and see if you like it and if you can stick with it, it's definitely more rewarding in the long run, for sure.
Yeah, and good luck collecting with all the amiibo cards. They're so hard to find. I've always regretted not getting the Sanrio cards. Now
Hmm.
they're very, very expensive. Maybe one day I will get my hands on them. And those like exclusive Japanese cards. Those are the hardest ones to get. So they're all hard to get at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really wish you luck because it's fun to have a collection that's Animal Crossing related. I've really enjoyed it.
Yes, and I do expect them to be used in the game for sure.
Yeah. Next, we have Grizzly Nina, who says, I want to be better at documenting my AC Switch journey. Whether that's through a blog, a Twitter, or just a personal journal, I have a bad habit of starting off projects strong and then letting them fizzle out into oblivion. I want to participate more in the AC community.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's fun, especially like going off of yours, Sergio. Like you're documenting every second. That's amazing. um, I would actually love it for you to have that, because that's awesome.
Nice.
And yeah, yeah, and I've seen Grizzly Nina's like journal projects, and they're all really great. So I think you're gonna do something great. The hardest part is definitely sticking to it, but when you
Mhm.
can, it just becomes like a habit, and you have a good time doing it. You know?
Yeah, definitely. We encourage you, Grizzly Nina. And the last answer is by Samshine, and it is I would also like to finish the Animal Crossing Villager quiz I've been making. And Sunshine, I'm not sure if we known about it, but it sounds exciting.
Yeah, I definitely love Animal Crossing quizzes, so I would love to see that. And
Yeah.
even we're gonna see new villagers. Like every Animal
Oh,
Crossing game adds some, and it's gonna be really cool to see those new villagers make it into your quiz eventually. I'm sure you'll work those in. Maybe
yeah.
you weren't thinking about it, but I feel like you would.
Yeah, and maybe new species too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, new species would be amazing. Give us bats
Oh
and
yeah.
turtles. I want turtles.
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for listening. If you want to be part of the conversation on all things Animal Crossing, join the Discord. I have a link in the description of this podcast. It's totally free to join. You don't have to be a patron, and if you do join, you can get Sergio and my friend codes. If you do want to be a patron, visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo. For just $1, you can support our show and get tons of cool things. You can see our current goals to improve the show and our content, and you can eventually see what we're doing with all of that money. And yeah, I want to be better about keeping people updated on that and, making sure everybody's clear on where we are with those goals. So we're really trying to make it worth it with everything that we give out because we appreciate your support so much. And if you are watching or listening on YouTube, please leave a comment about the show, answer any of the questions we had. Do you have any Animal Crossing resolutions? If so, let us know what they are. We want to know. And please leave a review of the show wherever you're listening. It helps the show gain some visibility and allows our community to grow. And once again, thank you all so much for listening. We hope you have a great week and a great year of Animal Crossing.
Goodbye, everybody. Happy New Year.